Mike B says, because if you're doing 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, 84 hours, and you're only getting 2,000, it's not good. I'm going to say there are aspects of that that is not good. And then there are aspects of that that is good. So you need to make a minimum amount of money per week in order to live. There are not a lot of jobs that you can get that's going to allow you to work essentially up to 18 hours a day. So you can work up to 18 hours a day. I get people, I'm not saying you should, right? But there could be something that happens, like, your kid or your wife, they might need surgery and insurance is not covering it. And you might need, $2,000 as quickly as possible. So go and do that. You can work 18 hours. I'm not telling you to do it, but you can go and work 18 hours every day and make money, even if your hourly rate is very, very bad. So in the sense of times are getting hard, it's getting harder to make more money per hour than it has been before. You still have the capability to go out and make that money. Now it's going to suck. It's going to be a pain in the butt and the hourly is going to look like trash. Should it be that way? No, but I like having the option to do that, right? That if an emergency pops up, I can just put my head down, grind, make the money, even if the hourly pay isn't a lot. Because you can even get a job that pays better per hour, but most jobs aren't going to let you go over 40 hours. Most jobs will not let you go over 50. I used to do seasonal on Amazon, and when you start getting close to 60, that's where they tell you, nope, go home, bye, you can't work anymore this week. So I'm not saying that you should do this. I just like that, when push comes to shove, and if someone's losing their mortgage, I expect them to be in their car 12 hours a day at minimum. 12 hours a day, 365, unless you just sell your house. Either you do not lose your house, right? I'm getting off tangent here, but I just want to be clear that yes, it does suck, but for me, I want to pay off all my debt before the year ends, right? I've already done the math. Once I'm debt free, I know that I can survive off of, like, what was it? 3,000, my whole household, me and my wife, can survive off of less than $3,000 a month. That's $36,000 a year. I know that I will be able to hit my goal quicker putting in 60, 70 hours a week with Lyft than if I were to get another job. It would take me a lot longer. Even if I got a job that paid better per hour, it would take me longer to do it because that job probably won't let me work as many hours as I want and have the flexibility to do that. So I think rideshare is a great stepping stone. If you want to sprint to a financial goal, I don't think there's anything better than rideshare, right? There might be things that pay better and might give you overtime. They might require certifications. They might require degrees, and those things can take up to like 2 to 4 years, which is fine. If you want to do that, do that. But if I were to finish my computer science degree, I would have to invest time into completing that computer science degree before I could go and start making that money. Or I could put my head down, work very hard for a year, pay off my debt, and then guess what? Once I'm debt free, I can now pursue whatever I want because my living expenses are so low that I can work. Let's assume me and my wife split finances. We don't handle our finances like this. Every dollar I earn is our money. Every dollar she earns is my money. But let's assume I'm responsible for coming up with, and I want to show proof. I want to show you that I'm not talking out my ass, and I'm going to show proof. So here's my spending for the past 3 months. Can't really zoom in too much here, but you can see this is all debt. So, right, anything that's in this color is debt. We've been on a massive push to just pay off all our debt this year. 6 months. We started using this in October. We got married in September, combined our finances. And then this is the progress we've made so far. The light blue one, that's housing. There's some fluctuations there. I'm not sure why. And then the dark blue is food. And you can see that once we have no debt payments to go, we'll probably hover this is 3,000 right here. We'll definitely hover for our minimum lifestyle at 3,000, right? So if I needed to make $1,500 every month just to hit my minimums, I could probably do that just working 2 days a week, working the 2 busiest days of the week with Uber and Lyft. I can just work Friday, Saturday night, probably 4 hours. If I work the busiest 4 hours, I could probably average about $40 an hour. Let's break out the calculator that I closed. All right, calc. So if I do $40 an hour on the 2 busiest nights, 4 nights a piece, that's 8 total. So that's $320 per week. Let's assume 4 weeks to a month times 4. Okay, that's still short. I probably have to throw in 3 days, right? And on those other days, let's say I'm making $30 an hour instead because, they're not going to be as busy as Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we say $30 an hour plus $30 an hour times, it's not doing what I wanted to do. But you get the point. You get the point. I'm not about to rerun this through my head. And then with all the other free time I have, I can be a YouTuber. I can get my pilot's license. I can go back and do a 6-month boot camp for coding computer science. So I'm sprinting to get to this goal that will enable me to have more freedom and free time. And, other drivers will make fun of me. They'll call me the S word. I hate saying it, I hate the comparison, but I am not as concerned with what Uber and Lyft are taking from me as long as I can still achieve my goal, right? And it might hurt more. I might have to put more effort into it. But the best way that we as drivers can hurt Uber and Lyft is to put ourselves in a financial position to where we don't need them ever again, right? Instead of striking on Valentine's Day for one day to send a message. And I'm not saying it doesn't work, because it does. It has an effect. But just like how the actors strike last year, the writers for SAG-AFTRA, or however it's pronounced, they striked for months without pay. Drivers aren't going to do that because they can't afford to do that. We didn't grow up planning to be a rideshare driver. We fell into this, and that's okay. I didn't plan to be a full-time rideshare driver. Life happens. And so it's okay if you can't afford to strike long term, but I would challenge you to put yourself in a position to where if you wanted to, you don't need to turn these apps on. That's kind of where I want everyone to be.